After more than 2 weeks of this, the moment millions of Americans have been waiting for has finally come.
Tonight, the unnecessary shutdown America has been enduring for 16 days comes to an end.
A deal to end a political crisis which partially shut down the US federal government has been approved. President Obama is now keen to get the world's biggest economy moving again.
Once this agreement arrives on my desk, I will sign it immediately. We'll begin reopening our government immediately. And we can begin to lift this cloud of uncertainty and unease from our businesses and from the American people.
Hundreds of thousands of government workers woke up on the 30th of September to the news that they were on unpaid leave. Drug trials were cancelled. National parks and monuments were closed. Even the military and NASA suffered. But how did it ever even come to this? Well, it all follows a major falling out between Obama's party, the Democrats, and the Republicans.
Oh, oh, Obamacare has got to go! Hey, hey!
Many Republicans are against Obamacare, which aims to give millions of Americans access to affordable health care. They hate the bill so much that even though it had already been passed, they kept blocking it while the parties tried to agree on a new budget. This caused delays because Obama needs both the Senate and the House of Representatives to agree on any law. Neither party backed down before the budget deadline, causing the country to shut down.
Stop the blackmail!
Stop the blackmail!
End the shutdown!
End the shutdown!
After 16 days of tension, on Wednesday, a last-minute agreement to reopen the government was reached. It came just a day before the deadline to raise the government's $16.7 trillion borrowing limit. Many were confident a deal would be reached because if it wasn't, the government would have begun defaulting on its planned payments, which could have pushed the US into another recession. But even though America was teetering on financial disaster, some Republicans were still refusing to back down right up to the final moments before the vote.
Mr. President, this fight was always about the American people who are hurting because of Obamacare. And unfortunately, today, the United States Senate is saying, you don't have a voice in Washington. You don't have a voice in Washington. This is a terrible deal.
Terrible deal or not, it was agreed just hours before the nation risked default. It allows the American Treasury to continue to borrow until the 7th of February and funds the government so it can reopen until January the 15th. Federal workers should return to work on Thursday. But while the shutdown is now over, there are more debts and budgets to come in the next weeks and months. The agreement does not resolve the issues which fiercely divide the Republicans and Democrats. It is merely a short-term solution which is only delaying the inevitable.